Jingtin's Mountain. Go and play it now. Go and play it now. It's actually so awesome. I haven't seen that video. That was amazing.
It makes me want to take off this headset, go into that room with other computers, and start playing it now. Like, I was talking when I came in, I want to play Jingtin's Mountain.
I think most of the competitive scene has actually latched on to this. You can see a quote there from Weekend as well. Just talking about you can get your group of friends together. I was watching him do it with just his viewers, and he was able to push it pretty far.
Yeah.
It's been exciting, and I know the dev team's been really pumped for it as well. And make sure, if you love this, show your support. I think it was Chris who said it on patch notes. You know, it's just planned for this month for now, but depending on community reaction, we'll see if we do more of them.
It's only for a month?
Only for a month. You better play it now. Got to get up on the leaderboards. Show your love, though. I think he said 13 pages of Reddit threads means that they'll do another one.
Okay, let's get going.
We're on like half a
Reddit
page
to
right
the
now.
Reddit right after this. But we have a match coming up instead. Excellence versus Retribution. I'm Tiger. That's Adonis. Let's go ahead and jump on in.
Excellence going to be taking on the former top card in the European SCL. Coming out of the spring finals, or excuse me, the summer split, they were the best team. They had beaten Rival in most of their head-to-head matchups. The team was, spearheaded, I think, by Proxy QQ coming out of the jungle. But since they failed that lane pretty harshly, they had a lot of close games, but weren't really able to close any out. They've had this massive roster change. They've only kept 2 players, Elexum and GetFisher, bringing on Mango, GetFisher, and I believe it's Minos were the other new 3.
Yeah, so we got to see them last week. Had a really rough time, so it's really up for them to step up, show why they deserve to be here, and show just exactly. We didn't get to see the synergy last week.
I don't think so either.
So it's time to see it this week.
A lot of roster changes, so a little bit hard to stay consistent. Excellence is back though. Predators, Maloaise, 50-meter fly, Mr. Turtle, and Farleez. I think Maloaise, the new player coming into this one. They were a team that were obviously bottom 2 along with Excel in the summer final or in the summer split. And then as they kind of progressed, we started to see the synergy start to come from them. They picked up some games against Rival. They picked up some games against Retribution, but not really able to push themselves into the big spotlight.
And they can now because it is a completely clean slate. This is only the second week of the European SCL, so this is essentially, if they step it up, could still be anybody's game. We got tons of weeks of these.
A couple options here in picks and bans, though. Retribution last week actually going for that mid lane Vulcan twice onto Elexum. Didn't really seem to work out, though. He had a lot of ultimates just off the mark, even when he had that Odin to synergize with.
Yeah, that game 1, they really couldn't find that communication, really couldn't find the accuracy coming out, so instead might need to make a different route. But Retribution baiting out Freya and Nemesis, and Excellence going with that Fafnir.
Pretty meta, obviously, the Nemesis and the Fafnir. The Freya, a little bit surprising to me. I think these are more player-specific target bans. They don't want Farleez on the Freya. We know some players go off real well with that. And we have the same kind of deal with Kronos and Soul. Every hunter between the SPL and SEL always seems to have one of those that teams really don't want to let them get.
So it's not as huge of a surprise to see that, but Ao Kuang, no surprise there. Banned out, right before anybody can pick something up. But because of that, Erlang Shen is available.
Obviously, Erlang Shen could go into multiple roles. We typically have seen it in the solo lane, but we've seen some players bring it into the jungle. Even a little bit of play in the support role. It's not super meta, but people have experimented around with it. It brings out a lot of pressure, although with his recent nerfs, having his pin go from 6 or 12 seconds to 16 seconds, we're seeing a lot less.
Yeah, he's better off in the solo lane for right now. Maybe even the jungle, but we're going to have to see just exactly where Retribution want to put him, but Excellence picking up the Soul, a very ambiguous pick.
Very flex options. Obviously, we've seen her go both Hunter and Duo quite often. They're going to pair that with a Bacchus. Can never go wrong with picking up a Bacchus early. Provides so much pressure into those, level 5, level 6, level 7, kind of that just still early game, technically, but not mid-game yet. Just level 5 Bacchus is one of the scariest things you can face off against.
He's very in your face, very aggressive, so Excellence looking to go ahead and create some leeway with that. But Susano and Neith picked up from Retribution. Still no mid lane picks.
This is early pressure from Retribution. Erlang Shen very dominant in the lane, one of the few that can match up against Robin. I'm not exactly sure about how the matchup is now with those extra 4 seconds on pin, but we know what Susano could bring. We saw it with Rapio in the last week, and Neith as well. Very dangerous god, can go in both the mid and the dual lane, and just has that instant wave clear that's hard to really match.
bans coming out. Kronos as well as a Sobek and, no surprise, Guan Yu. But Raijin banned out before the Zeus, which is still available.
You know, we have seen people really like Zeus, but Raijin just seems a lot easier to execute. Also, it's about that safety factor. Having that Thunder Crash, teams are a little bit less willing to go into that. I talked about how Retribution had drafted this early game composition, though, looking for probably setup kills and potential there. But Excellence has kind of done the same thing, going with this Ratatoskr and then Isis in the mid.
I mean, we didn't see any Isis in the first week, but now she's really starting to gain some momentum. We saw in the last game she did pretty dang well.
And Nuwa Kumbhakarna, okay.
All right.
A lot of global ults here, obviously Nuwa and Neith, but there's just Retribution have so much CC and setup. That's what I'm looking at most of all. All of their kits have just so much lockdown potential, as well as great chase potential. Excellence, the same thing. I think we're going to see some pretty big team fights. I wouldn't give any team an edge here.
I feel like nobody appreciates Nuwa until you try to lock somebody down and you watch them run away with a sliver of health and there's nothing you can do about it.
I mean, that's the big thing here about Nuwa versus Ratatoskr. It's the same thing when you see the Outquan. Ratatoskr needs to be melee range to execute all of his abilities. He likes to jump down and just get up close in your face. And so for the Nuwa, as long as she saves her clay golems, she's going to be able to drop those at her feet, and it just makes it so hard for anyone to pressure into her. Because not only is she going to have these 3 minions that body block, but also she can explode them for so much burst.
The CC game is strong coming out from both, but Retribution grouping up here just around this wall. Is this going to be an invade?
It's not an invade. They're trying to set up for anyone warding, but I think Ratatoskr spotted them out there at the over at his own speed and blue buff there. The issue is when you're trying to set up kills, right? Especially when you're hiding around like a small pillar, it's like that Scooby-Doo thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like you got too many people behind a small tree. It just doesn't, you're a little bit too wide, kind of poking out there. I think it was Neith's arrow. Probably
just a little bit, but they are going to disperse. No invades, no catching of anybody deep warding.
No, that's Soul.
Do what?
Soul disperses, but she's on Excellent. We were watching Retribution. Close enough.
Fair enough. But yeah, gonna go ahead and start with their normal starts. I don't see any wards on the board just yet. Nobody really starting out with that vision, which, I mean, it's kind of 50-50 across the board. Some people like them, some people don't.
I think it would have been dangerous for both teams to aggressively ward where you have so much level 1 lockdown. Just a little bit too risky, so they're going to play it safe. An interesting start, though, from the Isis. 50-meter fly going for the rank 2 of Warlock Sesh. Now, we started to see some players experiment with this. A couple patches ago, it got a change. Now only costing, I believe it's 1,400 at rank 1, which means you get double potions, which has made it a lot more enticing for mids to pick up.
I mean, it's going to be easy for her to stack, too, especially with the rest of her team to help her out when it comes to any peel or rotations, heading back in towards that mid lane.
The only issue, though, is that Isis likes to run the early game, and this kind of puts her behind because you don't have any mana regen like you would with the Soul Stone or you would with the Vampiric Shroud. So even though you have a little bit boosted mana, just having the rank 2 of that, I think it gives you something like 75 or 170, anywhere somewhere around there. It's not enough to sustain in the early laning phases. So if she's spamming a lot of abilities, she'll have to play pretty far back.
Is that going to be an issue versus Elexum on that Nuwa, since I hardly see any Nuwa?
Oh, right-hand side, actually. Mango might be able to set up a kill, and Predator's doing a good job of juking, but he's focusing on that more than anything, and he just missed. That probably would have been first blood for him if he had connected the root.
Now, instead, he's going to have to back off. Mango looking a little better than him at this point, a little worse for wear.
And this is what you get from Erlang. He's one of the only gods that can counter Robin in lane, puts out a lot of pressure, a lot of poke potential. And so Predators, who needs to be in melee range to use his abilities, for the most part, if you're looking at Piranha Onslaught, is going to eat that pin as well on cooldown. And that's Mango's job here as Ratatoskr making a very early trip over, just trying to relieve the pressure. But with the missed stun, Mango's just going to be able to walk off. And now this is even better for Mango because Ratatoskr is stealing farm away from Predators.
So at that point, it did not work out any way that they wanted to coming out from Excellence. Instead, Mango Man sitting nice and happy currently. Well, no real headway in the duo lane, but mid is where really all the action is. I'm waiting to see.
Just Elexum and Susano here. They have the opportunity, but it's just hard pressuring into an Isis, obviously. She has so many stun options. Left-hand side, though, the Soul not really able to get lane control. Good job by ManLikeJeron on this Neith. Nice. And look at that, Farleez just sitting inside the weave there. Unfortunate for him.
Sitting those weaves. I mean, that's a very large area there.
Yeah.
And that's stun. A little bit extra damage, or the root, a little bit extra damage, too, for those minions. Immediate clear.
it just covers most of the lane, and so it's hard to fight against Neith, obviously, and a Kumba as well, who's going to be able to stop a lot of what Bacchus does in the early game with his mez, as well as his root, his knockup, and also we've seen all just constantly bounce the minions into Farleez. What they're trying to do right now is just pressure the soul out, never let her get into a good spot, always make sure she's always, you know, kind of in kill potential, where if she overcommits, and right there, all taking damage, but that was all of Farleez's wave clear.
I mean, it's already gone. You had mentioned it takes up half the lane. I mean, Soul does too. And that's essentially built into her kit. So I'm wondering why there's so much, there's so much missed opportunity coming out from that Soul to push forward. It's all because of that Kumba.
It's mainly because they got to lane later, I'm assuming. And so like it's very precarious in the dual lane, where the lane can go completely differently just depending on 1 or 2 seconds, right? You need to be super efficient in your buff clears, because once you get to lane first and you start hitting those first minions, you will dominate that lane, at least for the first wave. There's some matchups that can push back at the start, but between a Soul and the Neith, because they have very similar clear just in the early game, whoever gets there first is probably going to control it. And this has allowed all actually to rotate over to the mid along with Mr. Turtle.
Excellence on point with their rotations, falling back, taking their red, coming back, taking the right mid camps. Retribution haven't left this mid lane yet to try and get anything done, but Predators forcing to use the kick pin, gonna miss Mango Man, not gonna be able to lock anybody down. Great kick coming in, and GetFisher leaves empty-handed.
The kick doesn't happen, maybe that goes a different way. Left-hand side on Mr. Turtle, trying to fight over these mid harpies. I think New Wall secured it with Shining Metal. It was really close. Not going to really be able to tell that one.
Really close either way. And I mean, when it comes to the gold, these teams are still incredibly close. Nobody's really taken that step over the edge to really bring themselves closer to victory right now. We're 4 minutes, 37 seconds in, and we haven't had a first blood. But I mean, Predators has gotten pretty close.
Mango has gotten pretty close as well here on the right-hand side. Those two are just non-stop going at it. You can see they're even in gold too. So despite us always seeing Mango having Robin pushed up to his tower, he hasn't really been able to get a lead off of that. That could be from the fire elementals as well. I haven't really been paying attention to how well he's controlling it, and just constantly trying to put the pressure on it. It just hasn't been going as cleanly as I think he had expected.
Mango Man trying to get the leg up onto Predators.
It's good for Predators.
Here comes the root. Here comes the ultimate, and Predators taking first blood off of Retribution, and now GetFisher gonna take a spirit ball to the face. Here comes the 3. The silence is not gonna be able to get away just yet, but Ratatoskr waiting in the wings, waiting to come on down. But a beautiful epic uppercut coming out, and the Typhoon follow up for the knockups.
Absolutely clean from both teams. Ratatoskr there, the only real misplay we saw. We saw a 50-meter fly actually silence Susano out of his storm caught of the last swing of it, where he moves himself, but didn't pop the ultimate fast enough to get the damage off. And unfortunate there for Maloaise, just so close. I mean, that would have been a guaranteed kill on a GetFisher if he connected that ult.
Indeed, but they're going to split these camps 3 ways coming out from the back. A little bit of help coming out from the Ice of Spirit Ball. Barrage rotating back towards this mid lane. We saw 3 people earlier on. Retribution probably wanted to make something happen when there was only 2 for Excellence, but then that kill happened over on the right. Then that kill happened.
Just opening up opportunities. Yeah, we didn't really even get to talk about that kill.
No.
It was surprising because Mango goes aggressive with his ultimate, obviously. He's just trying to get lane pressure, but he's not able to poke Predators out. Predators able to stay pretty healthy under his tower, but then Mango's still going in. And without that ult online, it was very dangerous for him. I think he underestimated that a little bit. Neith charging the ult, and Nuwa actually ulting for Vision, I think, there.
Yeah, just to see where everybody's at this point. Speed can't being taken by Maloaise. Predators rotating back over, but Farleez incredibly low, forced to go ahead and back off.
Ult? Okay, so Retribution there, trying to see if they had enough damage to kill is basically what happened. GetFisher's going to be fine in the mid, but they used both the Neith and the Nuwa ult, trying to full commit and get the kill onto Souls. They did force it back, though, which has opened up this opportunity for Gold Fury. They've both stacked, but no Wrath for either team.
Retribution wanted epic uppercut, going to get Barrage
off.
Zone. Back. Good zoning coming out from Turtle, though. The Gold Fury is still up, and it is going to get secured by Retribution, who started it in the first place. Turtle not able to come in, but Predators coming in with the ultimate, going to be able to take 2 out of the wings.
This is not good. This is not good at all for Retribution right now. They got the Gold Fury, but they lose 3 in response. And this early on, the Gold Fury's not worth that much. The boars are going to get stripped away. The red buff's likely to get stripped away. This Ratatoskr needs to be looking at the speed. I don't know what the hell he's doing in mid lane right now. There is so many camps available right now to steal away, and that's exactly what Excellence is going to do. If we go to the graphs, we're going to see that Retribution had a quick spike, but it's already back to even.
Mango Man's already here. Maloaise not able to take this camp. Instead, Mango trying to take it for himself. He's trying to put as much pressure as possible. Both of these guys just going for it at this point. Good jump, good sprint, and yeah, good dash even, and he is going to be able to take it. Mango Man doing his best, but not good enough.
Not only, so they lose the Gold Fury there, but they get 3 kills, which means those 3 players that died are now not farming for the next 30 seconds as they have to respawn and then walk back to lane. Also, all those buffs are going to be stripped away. That's such a huge win for Excellence overall. They can probably start to pressure this back and maybe even look for more setup kills themselves.
So they couldn't take the Gold Fury. They got 3 kills. They got another 4th kill, and they're starting to take buffs.
Yeah, they won.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing a great job, all things considered. I mean, what's the mentality? Okay, yeah, we lost a big objective, but it's early on. There's so much other stuff we can get.
And that, I mean, that's one of the risk versus rewards you go for when you go for the Gold Fury, where you want to go for the Gold Fury, and it's okay to take a loss there, but it's really how does the other team respond? Either A, they try and steal it away and are unsuccessful, or B, they try and force the fight, and that's just what Excellence did. They just jumped in, forced the fight. They tried to steal it for sure, but they didn't have that full commit. They weren't all there, and so they were able to open up more objectives afterwards because of the kills.
Fire Imp's going to go to Retribution here. Mango Man securing that, keeping the Ratatoskr away for the most part. Got to deny him as much farm as possible.
Yeah, I mean, he's level 10 right now. Obviously, Susano's still a little bit behind. Rat hasn't been in any kills. Starting to work on the Void Shield here. Right-hand side, though, might be able to set up a kill on a Mango.
Yeah, going to get pinched. The heal's going to be here in just a second, but it's not going to be enough as Predators coming in. The Neith ultimate's being channeled, but Maloaise jumping into the tree of Yggdrasil, running through the Cosmos to make sure he stays alive.
Had to ult there. The Neith ult was coming through. GetFisher there as well. If he gets stunned by the Neith ult, GetFisher might be able to clean up that kill. Instead, playing it safe, he's got his burn his ultimate, but he had already ganked the right-hand side. No real need for that anytime soon here, especially since the team had committed that Neith ult. If they don't commit the Neith ult, you probably want to save your ult because then you can open up opportunities. But with Neith not having hers available, it's unlikely to see Retribution be able to set up any successful gank themselves.
I'm loving the mindset coming out from Excellence, all right? Saw Ravana. He went down to that blue camp to check if it was available because nobody was there. And Retribution are behind. Their hands are kind of tied for the most part. Wasn't able to take it, but I love the fact they're already thinking about it 10 minutes in.
Just want to see any opportunities where they're going to be able to get ahead. Warding starting to come out from both team. Retribution pretty heavy on the defensive ward. You can actually see a normal ward inside the mid camps. You see this a lot because no team really sentries those areas, and so even though it won't give you as good as vision of people rotating between mid camps into a duo or solo, you'll have an idea if they're trying to set up something around that corner.
I mean, exactly, and they're about to come up here, so that ward's going to be very important going into this next fight. These little objectives are going to be, it's just death by 1,000 cuts. If anything, I mean, Retribution won a quick game. Excellence are happy with a slow burn.
But they have a pretty good experience lead right now, too. Most players rocking a few levels ahead. Maloaise trying to set something up on the right-hand side, trying to actually steal away this red buff right now. Elexum doing a good job of defending it. Mango's here as well, and he's just going to be on zone duty, forcing the Ratatoskr back. But Excellent, surprisingly, are actually, no, they're going to continue to push in here, and Mango's in a little bit of trouble. He's going to ult for the heal, and the knockup might save him.
Knockup might save him, but Maloaise waiting to come on in. Once again, Neith ultimate not, I mean, just null at that point. Nuwa bringing a little bit of extra damage, but Mango Man going to get away just fine, but barely. He was so low earlier.
No, yeah,
so close.
Very close. New ult's just not enough health right now, honestly, to lock down kills. Looking at the side of Retribution at the end of that, but still 50-meter fly pushing in, and I think that was a stolen blue, if I'm not mistaken. Predators able to walk away with that one. Unfortunately there for Mango Man, who's already behind so far.
I mean, every little bit counts, especially when it comes to that Ravana. We don't see Erlang Shen a lot. He does kind of get bullied, especially by Ravana. So even though there's a 2-level difference, I still feel like Mango Man's having a little bit better this objective control, closer to the solo lane.
He's going to try right now. He's 2 levels down is the main issue. And Predator,
yeah, there's
5 kills on Excellence, and 4 of them are on the Ravana. It's been really unfortunate for Mango Man, right? If the Predators are just an assister in some of those kills, I think this lane's going a little bit closer, but Mango still fighting back into it. Predators doesn't have his ult in this situation, and this is actually decent right now for Mango Man because you look at the item build differences. Obviously, going for a Witchblade is Predators, whereas the cooldown reduction for Mango Man and the pin cooldown being that much lower is just so much. It's probably the deciding factor in Mango being able to fight into this Robin.
The pin and the turtle almost enough to take out the Robin, but not quite yet. Going to be just fine backing off. Gives him a little bit of breathing room to go ahead and clear and then back off because the TP is coming in.
Mid lane. Actually a 2-on-3 here. Gold Fury has respawned. Obviously, Retribution going for it earlier, but I think they're going to be a little bit less interested in it this time after, despite getting it, losing 3 players and all of their jungle stripped away. Excellence got about a 1,300 lead off of that, and I'd like to see Excellence still pressure for it because they have such a strong lead right now in experience alone. Not so much in gold, but just having that like 5,100, that's such a stark difference, and you see these carries specifically be really far ahead. Mango Man, he's only level 12, maybe 13 now, and a lot of times when you see the soul laners rotate over, it's less about the Robin being ahead and more about Mango Man not being ahead. He's behind, so he's much easier to lock down as in compared to a typical soul laner.
And I feel like Excellence haven't really had to work too hard when it comes to getting these big objectives or getting this lead because Retribution was the one that instigated all of this, and it's just them reacting.
They haven't really been able to get anything going here. Gold Fury was kind of looked at, but not going to happen, and Predators just able to push back Mango Man there, who's just returned, starting to work on the magical protection more. That is going to be trouble here for Aldo in the mid.
Good knockup. Barrage all wanted to go in, instead got stunned out. Mr. Turtle, though, going to get rooted. Going to try and turn on him, but Ratatoskr waiting to come on down. Beautiful 3-man knockup, but going to dash out because there's 4 members of Retribution here. But now we have the rotation from Predators.
All is going to be forced to ult, still trying to get away, and Predators could look to chase this, but instead focus on Mango Man, who's rotated it incredibly low. He pops his meditation and his ult in response. Just one root forcing that out, so all these ultimates burned right now. Excellence have a great opportunity.
Bringing in a lot of damage. GetFisher and Jeron here, however, and that's going to be just the bait coming through. Here comes the Predator's ultimate, but Maloaise so low, going to be able to try and dash away, but Elexum going to be able to finish him off with the ultimate. Predators getting out of jail with that kick, but still suffering a lot of damage, and Mango Man going to be able to take him out, but the Gold Fury was taken by Excellence.
Overall, I got to give this to Excellence. You can see still about an 1,800 gold lead. The question is, can Retribution get any more?
No, it was Retribution. It was Retribution that split. That's a 1-on-1.
No, it was Excellence.
Are you sure?
Rhett got the first one, remember?
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Are you okay?
I got scared for a second.
It's okay. It was the spike. It got confusing.
It did.
No, so obviously that first down spike going to Excellence there on the deep spike on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
So Excellence secure it, but they lose 2 in response.
So it doesn't...
Retribution had to probably get a little bit more to make that worth. Unfortunately, though, there was no buffs that had spawned, so they couldn't invade. The only other option was either A, chasing kills, or B, setting up a tower, and Excellence were just a little bit too healthy to do either in that spot.
I got excited because I wanted Retribution to be able to take that in. They have a couple of kills under their belt, but Excellence have really been able to just have so much control. And I mean, that's what they needed.
I think it's the experience. And we saw that actually at the mid-camp. So that actually started off with a really heavy investment from Retribution, burning multiple ults, trying to kill the Bacchus. And the Bacchus popped his shell, he had his Urchin finished, and he was just a little bit too tanky. And after they invested all of that, the Ratatoskr goes deep, he gets Oz ult in response, and forces the rotation from both solo laners. Mango Man forced to pop his both Relic on meditation and his ultimate just from one Isis Spirit Ball. It was really surprising to see him rotate in at that low health, and that just gave the window for Excellence to go in. Just because there were so many things down on the side of Retribution, there's so little they had to contest.
Exactly. Now, we haven't really talked too much when it comes to the duo between Jeron and Farleez with the Neith and the Soul. We talked a little bit in the beginning, but they kind of just fell off the face of the earth.
Both are really in farming mode. You can see the Soul's damage sitting at 2k, Neith a little bit higher at 4,500. Obviously, Jeron has had more of an impact into the overall course of the game just because of Neith ult.
Yeah.
But the Soul, now that she's level 16, now that she finished Polynomicon, working on penetration as well, once the rotations from that dual lane start to happen, she's going to be a little bit more devastating. And actually, a very heavy investment from Retribution trying to siege this tier 1 on left.
Taking taking a lot of damage onto that tower. The jump coming in. Turtle going to be able to get that Intoxicate. Jeron backing off, back flipping in. There comes the curse, and that's going to be the retreat coming out from Retribution.
Tier 1 tower picked up, though. That's all Ret wanted in that situation. Just trying to close the gap on the gold lead. It's really not that big. We're talking about this game, how Excellence are in such a good spot because of their experience. But gold-wise, it's not that much different. And so if Ret can just hold on for another 5 minutes, 6 minutes without Excellence able to get too much in their own jungle, this game's going to go back to being dead even once everyone's level 20.
Exactly. Rotations coming through. Retribution trying to get a little bit of extra pressure in their mid lane, but also Maloaise trying to put some pressure when it comes to this solo lane. Mango Man thought he had 2, but now he's got 4 people to deal with. The stun coming through, and then the knockup. The CC chains are just too much for him to really handle. He's going to find the pin, but he's just dancing around this tower. In the backline, he's going to be able to make it, but Ratatoskr is jumping into the air for the chase.
Finally, Maloaise right on top, finds the kill, and now GetFisher trying to answer back, going very deep, but the issue is he's by himself on a 2-man stun as well from the Isis. Opens up Maloaise to dive this tower, immediately exploded Sanctuary. Is it going to be enough? Yes! Just barely makes it out there. Got hit by the last tower shot, but not enough to kill him.
Barely getting out by the skin of his teeth. I thought it was going to be the tower shot, but the Sanctuary kept him alive just enough. But Predator's taking some tower shots of his own, barely getting out as well. They're putting a lot of pressure, but they weren't really able to find anything too big out of it. They took out Mango Man, but Predator's going to fall to Elexum.
Yeah, that's brutal, and I'm really surprised to see Excellence back off of that. They had such a good spot to keep up that pressure. They got way too scared. They took too long, I think, to lock down Mango Man. Oh, overextended though. One more hit. There's his passive. I don't think, is Bacchus, does he have the attack speed to do this?
I'm not really
sure.
sure.
Oh, he hit a minion. That minion hit might be it.
No, the minion.
There it is.
I mean, yep, there it goes. Barrage is back up. Elexum here to help out as well. Backing off. Almost able to lock down the Kumba, but the passive is going to be able to save him.
I now want to know what's the lowest amount of attack speed you can have to kill a Kumba when it's passive procs. If you hit it, the second his passive goes off.
I would offer to test that with you, but I really want to go home.
Oh, I'm not going to test it. I'm asking like everyone.
Everybody else to do it.
Yeah, tweet me. Figure it out. And I'm not doing that myself. That'll take way too long. Turtle here going to get taunted out. Jump probably down. And Mango Man, very hard commit, got the AoE auto, but he missed the last one. Doesn't matter though. Nuwa able to clean up.
Good communication coming out, finishing him off very quickly, but there's so many roots, there's so many stuns coming through. Maloaise, Turtle, Mango trying to run at this point. Maloaise going to get rooted out, but Predator's going to be able to take him out for the last kill. The Isis ultimate has been popped, and GetFisher just trying to get out. He had a lot of pressure, a lot of aggression, but Isis just was able to bring a lot more.
Ret going to be starting up this Gold Fury. In the meantime, you can see the Soul looping around. She's the only one from Excellence that knows this is going on. Stellar Burst is on target and actually doing a good job of distracting the rest of the team, just trying to buy time for the rest of Excellence to come in here. And there comes the ultimate as well. Gold Fury got picked up by Retribution, but Farleez has answered back with a kill on all as Maloaise goes in too.
Good knock up. Elexum forcing to use that Sanctuary to get out Jeron, coming around the back end as well, while Excellence trying to wipe up as much as they can off of this, out of the back end of the jungle. They have this tier 1 tower too if they want to aggress, because they do have 3 people here.
That's the thing. When you lose a Gold Fury, what can you get to answer it back? 1 kill's not going to be enough at any time. So instead, still grouping up on the left hand of Siege, and I feel like Excellence are letting Retribution back into this game ever so slowly. The only person who hasn't stopped the aggression is Predators. Highest damage in the game right now at 15,000, able to successfully siege a tier 2 on the right by himself. The issue is he might be a little bit too far overextended.
It's Ravana, man. He's 1v2ing at this point, still keeping himself alive while the rest of the team happens. Fly taking out Elexum over on the other side, and they're going to be able to probably get 2 towers if they keep it up. GetFisher forced out in this 1v2 situation, now making it 1v1 against the solos.
Just absolutely juke, and you know, he got the tier 2 tower. He was almost able to get a kill, but the big thing is he put so much attention over to the right-hand side of the map that Ret had to respond with those 2 people. Even if they kill him, they've already lost so much off of this, it doesn't even matter. They lost their tier 1 on left, another player as well, and now the group up from them in the mid lane.
They have invested so much on Predators. It's Jeron that finally pins the kill, and now Maloaise trying to come over here and finish off what Mango Man was trying to start. Not particularly. He's trying though, but here comes the rest of the team trying to bring out Maloaise. The pin's going to be good. Sanctuary already gone, and at this point, it's just going to be the dash. Nuwa coming in though. He's so low.
Wrong pathing to take there. His team was right around the corner. Still might be able to get out, though. GetFisher does finally clean up, but at the very least, he's baited Retribution into a terrible spot. They overextended so far. Only one player to fall right now, all still being chased down. And Farleez can shred this guy. I'm really surprised to see the back off. Maybe a little bit worried about the new wall as well as the rest of Retribution coming in.
Well, that and the fact that they just watched Retribution invest so much into one person. Maybe they want to go ahead and back off and not commit to the same mistake.
Possible here. Excellence, though, finally find themselves with a real lead, about 2,800, although at 23 minutes, it's not really the biggest lead you would probably want here. Still, with the experience difference, it's not even that much in the experience lead right now. Retribution have done such a good job of stemming their bleeding.
7,000 experience in favor of Excellence right now. A little bit different than what we kind of expected. Retribution were the first seed coming in. You know, they wanted to go ahead and defend their title, but right now, Excellence doing a very good job of keeping them on their toes.
I think Excellence were a little bit too... I think they had a much better opportunity and some power spike windows to go aggressive in kind of that 12 to 20 minute mark, but they seemed a little bit hesitant. They would all group up, maybe look for a kill, but only one person would go in at a time. And this has actually allowed Retribution to get back into this game. Excellent, still in a great spot though. The Ratatoskr making it very hard for the Susano to find ganks. Also has been repeatedly cleaning up those players who escape on, you know, that sliver of health.
So looking at Isis real quick, she's building up that Book of Thoth after she has that Warlock. Well, her Warlock sash is completely up now, right?
Double stack.
That's all it. But what's that Thoth going to be able to do for her?
Just going to increase the damage overall. Obviously, it doesn't have kind of the utility items that you normally see. You know, we see a lot of breastplates, wing blades from Isises that like to just survive a little bit more. It just feels very confident in the amount of health that it's going to bring here. And GetFisher, level 17, you can see with that Warlock sash, kind of just getting tickled.
Retribution picking the wrong targets at this point, and Predator's going to be able to force all out because of it. Maloaise crashing in, looking for the opportunity. Neith ult's already been spent on Maloaise when there was no follow-up, and now Barrage. All just right in that same situation earlier on, but Predators does have the attack speed to take him out in the back line. GetFisher trying to jump back in, and then come back in and try to get something. Farleez taking a lot of damage.
Excellence is just fighting so well as a team right now. Predator's job is to chase down everyone else. Mango Man overextended, just trying to lead Excellence away from the rest of his team. Predators does get stopped before he can reach into the tier 2, but we've seen him 1 versus 2 before, no problem. The rest of his team is focusing on Fire Giant in the meantime.
Yeah, Fire Giant very quickly falling, 35% currently, and it doesn't look like Retribution have any idea. They were taking this buff camp, and now Nuwa may have seen it, but it's already far too late. Excellence have that nice little belt for themselves.
Elexum not really able to get anything working right now. Obviously, Nuwa very good the later the game goes. Her burst potential is incredible. Even the ult, it'll chunk 30+% off of everyone on the team. But the issue is she's not really been able to farm. Just finished the Obsidian Shard right now. 25 minutes in, Excellence is in such a dominating spot. They've got a 5K lead, still the experience lead. Decently okay. You can see a couple level difference on some key players here. Most notably Awe and I think Mr. Turtle, where Awe is only level 15 right now, so not going to be as tanky as he likes.
Where do you focus if you're Retribution? Because Excellence haven't really been taking they're taking this lead to the complete advantage right now. They are going to aggress onto Fly here. Barrage are going to be able to find it, but the Sanctuary has been popped. Epic uppercut coming down, so much damage, and yeah, Fly's gone.
Everyone just destroyed right now. Still,
boom.
Retribution pushing forward. Here comes Mango as well. The Supernova is completely off the mark, but it's trouble for Awe and GetFisher. They're going to be chased down into the mid lane by the Soul. Stellar Burst just off the mark. Awe escapes down. GetFisher escapes to the right, and overall just a single pickup, unless Maloaise can keep on going, but he actually might get turned on right now. Mango doesn't want to give this up for free.
Maloaise is just investing everything that he can to get out, and unfortunately it's probably not going to be enough here. Jeron going to be able to find it instead, but now he's going to get punished by the rest of Excellence here. He's only 1 hit away, and as we know, Predators, he does not want to let this guy get away.
Oh, the minions as well. Great body blocking there. Jeron on full retreat. Mango, nice knockup as well. Predator's not going to be able to keep chasing. 2 kills for Retribution on the Fire Giant targets. Those were such awkward engagements with Excellence just not being grouped up as a unit. I mean, they're so far ahead right now when it comes to just having that Fire Giant as well as about an extra item because of the gold lead. Instead, though, almost throwing it away, just split up across the map.
Yep, Excellence going to turn their sights back to the Gold Fury, but as I was saying earlier, if you're Retribution, where do you focus since Excellence are kind of getting a little sloppy.
Well, you want to go for picks, right? Anyone who's going to be out of position, and that's what we saw from Awe and Elexum, and I think it was GeRon there as well. They found the Isis a little bit overextended. They were able to blow her up. And also, I think they need to take a step back a little bit when it comes to chasing. It's great to find someone and try and commit to kill them. But what they've done a little bit too much of is keep the fight going, and they just keep chasing and keep chasing and keep chasing, and then they just lose. Even if they get the kill, they lose so much else on the map, whether it be the Gold Fury, whether it be a tower, whether it be someone else, just because they're so far deep into the side of Excellence's jungle.
Predators has his hands full, making sure this tower stays clear. Mango Man doing a good job of continuing to push the creep up there, trying to keep Ravana out just a little bit of time.
And the Raven's effectiveness is slowly starting to fall off as everyone hits level 20. Obviously, he's going to be full build here, finishing off what I assume is going to be a winged blade. Could be a ritual dagger as well, although I find that unlikely.
Predators, though, I mean, a lot of this success coming out from Excellence has really hedge-pinned on this pick, on this Robin. So when he loses his effectiveness, what's going to happen?
I mean, I feel like Excellence just haven't been able to get a big enough lead, but still, they've got 3 members on Fire Giant right now. They're going to try and siege this tier 2 in the mid lane. They have the Soul and Isis. They should be looking to poke out these players, make sure that when this fight happens, that Retribution aren't full health.
They wanted to go ahead and send out that World Weaver instead. Jeron trying to find the pin onto Predators, forcing out the ultimate so he doesn't take any extra tower charge. But Maloaise crashing in, 3-man knockup, lots of damage, but Nuwa raining from the skies above. Mango Man so low.
Just not enough right now. Maloaise finding first blood in this fight. Mango's gonna fall here. Awe in trouble as well. You can see Predators has just been incredibly tanky. Him and Turtle trading out this tower. Turtle managed to get out just barely. The tier 2 falls. Awe somehow still alive. Same with GetFisher on 1 health. That's one problem that Excellence are having, is chasing down these players who get incredibly low. The Ratatoskr hasn't been able to pick up kills, using his ultimate more for team fights more than anything, which is probably more effective overall, but good job by Excellence.
Yep. Rotating back into the jungle, taking out everything for Retribution at this point. It's a slow bleed.
Just Fire Giant fell off as well, so they're going to wait for the next spawn here in under a minute. Probably, I think, 40 seconds left on that one.
40 seconds left. Yeah, no, 25 seconds left.
I was close on that guess.
No, I was close. You're really good.
I was close enough.
8 to 13. Read the kill boards right now. 29 minutes and 22 seconds in. And Excellence have a little bit of a lead, but it's not enough to say they're going to be the clear winners here. It's still very close.
And Nuwa's really starting to come online. You could see she had that Obsidian chart. We talked about it about 6 minutes ago. Now almost working on the Rod of Tahuti. She's overtaken the damage charts for top damage, and now Excellence are going to have to start paying attention to her. They could avoid her for the most part, focusing on other targets, but she's really going to start to shred them. Honestly, the Polynomicon, the Pythagorean's piece, also enhancing the damage coming out from Kumbhakarna. While Kumbhakarna is not the most damaged as compared to a carry, that extra little bit on his ultimate is going to come into play.
Fire Giant has been started by Excellence. They're looking to try and burn it down very slowly, almost to, actually no, it has been leached to 70%. They're going to turn back onto Awe, taking lots of damage. Here comes a Typhoon, and once again, there goes the passive. Turtle and Farleez as well, working on it. Turtle going to get credit for that kill. Ratatoskr waiting for the right opportunity to come down, looking for GetFisher, are going to be able to find him. Farleez getting credit as well. Jeron does not have the backflip available, and Predators is hot on the heel.
The rest of the team is there chasing as well. Excellence deep into the jungle right now. Mango Man trying to do everything he can to stop Predators from chasing down his Neith. Jeron's going to make it back. The team could look for the Fire Giant, though, instead. Kind of staying around for these kills. This may not be their best option.
Purification had been spent already. A little bit of bad communication coming out from Retribution, using all of those abilities while the Purification was still available, but Sanctuary coming out as well, so all the relics are going to be burned onto the Ratatoskr, going back into the second Fire Giant attempt.
This has bought a lot of time, though. You could see Awe just spawning right now, and Excellence not the healthiest. Mango's going to rotate in and continue to buy time. It's going to be a 2-man taunt as well, and you can see Jeron just around the corner. Elexum on retreat, and Mango actually able to take out Maloaise with the help of the Fire Giant, just crushing through Excellence. Excellence just chasing kills instead of focusing on the objectives, and it's going to be turned on on them, they're not going to be able to get the free Fire Giant now. And honestly, Mango could probably keep chasing this down.
Yeah, Mango doing a good job of zoning. Not going to get hit by the Spirit Ball, which is going to be good. He's going to be able to keep putting the pressure onto Fly and Farleez, who's already back into the Disapparate.
Ooh, Jeron there taking more poke than I think he wanted. All going to find an ult. Mango Man waiting as well. The stun making it hard for Mango to chase any deeper, though. Isis, good shot from her. And I got to say, this has been sloppy from both teams, I think. Going back to the start of that Fire Giant, all walks in by himself, just trying to get his ult off, and he dies before he actually even closes the gap. Then GetFisher goes in 1 versus 3, also trying to take out a carry. Does a fair amount of damage, but there's just too much CC on the side of Excellence that they were able to lock him down. Then, instead of focusing on the objectives, Excellence chase kills repeatedly and then overextend themselves, giving Retribution the time to respawn, stop that Fire Giant, get a kill themselves, and even take out those 2 tier 1 towers.
Yeah, they took out the 2 tier 1 towers in the mid lane as well as the solo lane. You were talking about Excellence not really focusing in when it came to those towers or those objectives, but Retribution doing a very good job of pushing them off the Fire Giant and then taking them for themselves, or taking the towers for themselves at least.
Excellence still have the momentum. Most of the fights are going their way. The Robin still doing so much effectiveness into the team fights. More about zoning out people than picking up kills now. We haven't seen him go past that 6 kill mark in quite some time. Instead, he really focuses on Elexum and Jeron and making sure they can't just free cast in the backline while the rest of his team kills on GetFisher.
Third time's the charm. Fire Giant started up and Fire Giant leashed as they try to go ahead and put as much pressure onto Retribution as possible.
Oh,
Jeron
where is he at?
He's in the middle of left field, forced completely out. But Predator's gonna be on the chase and then pinch. But the rest of Excellence is here to try and punish Retribution for it.
Oh, Elexum forced to ult there. Spirit Ball taking a big chunk of his life, and Turtle's ready as well.
Oh,
Same with the knockup.
Nice.
GetFisher doing everything he can to help get his mid laner out, and Elexum is going to make it out, and this could be the turn for Ret.
GetFisher trying to save his lane mate is going to be able to, but the Typhoon spent. Elexum working as hard as he can, but he is going to fall, and Neith not going to be able to save him out with the ultimate. Good Spirit Ball coming in. Neith right back on the radar for Predators here, doing lots of damage. Silence going to be good, but Farleez is going to be better, and Jeron is going to fall.
Predators is doing so much work this game, and still 2 members waiting around. Mango, his tanky is going to pop his ultimate, I believe, just get a little bit of a heal there and try and turn this a 2-man knockup. He is going to be able to escape into Phoenix, but Excellence, they need to tune in on doing one thing right now. It's going to be the Phoenix call, not the Fire Giant. They've got 3 players to defend it, and Maloaise is doing back camps instead of being with this team right now. This could be trouble.
Good knockup onto Barrage, but the good root from 2 members, Predators and Turtle at this point. Not going to be able to lock in on the Phoenix, and I mean, that's not really a win for Excellence.
Excellence just, they've been chasing kills a little bit too much. Haven't been able to win a fight cleanly, I think. And I think it's okay. Some of the kills they've been chasing, the opportunity looks there, but it's just been too good of a job by Retribution to get their team out.
This looks really scattered, all right? It looks like somebody's making some different shot calls. They're kind of fighting over what objective they want to go to, or just not at all. They're focusing, as you mentioned, more on the kills, and it's disheveled.
Even that siege on the right-hand side, Maloaise, I don't think he was actually doing mid-camps, but was trying to get waves in the mid there, get farm instead of rotate with his team. But he's full build now, so he doesn't have to focus on that. Rod of Tahuti picked up for Isis. Full builds coming out from a lot of players right now. Excellence really don't have a lead at all anymore.
I feel like the only real tight play that we've seen from Retribution, or from either team, is when Retribution took those 2 towers after forcing out the Fire Giant. That's really it.
It's kind of been who's going to make the fewest mistakes in these fights. And Mango Man specifically is doing such a good job of just annoying Retribution here. They're going to go forward, find a 4-man Mez, actually.
4-man Mez, but 5 members of Excellence around the corner. Typhoon already popped, going to get a couple of knockups, but now GetFisher forced out almost like in every fight. Turtle going to find Elexum with the Intoxicate in the backline, and Maloaise trying to find GetFisher and will.
This could finally be it. Mango Man going to get chased down here. This can't happen again, though. Excellence can't just keep chasing these kills. The Fire Giant's still available. They could group up for the Phoenix as well. Finally, they're actually just going to completely give up on Mango Man. Let him back. Could be trouble here as Maloaise taking this Phoenix a little bit. He's going to back off. The backflip, unfortunately, for Jeron, straight into the Phoenix. Predator's going to be able to chase him down all on 1 hit as well, and it's finally going to be 4 dead on the side of Retribution. Excellence already in the Titan room.
Titan room, charging forward, not even worrying about the other Phoenix at this point. Mango Man doing as best as he can to try and amass a good defense, but there's only so much he can do as the Titan continues to lose HP.
This has got to be the win. Finally, Excellence. They hold on for quite some time. Mango Man doing the best job he can possible. He's not going to live in the end, and Order Titan finds Mr. Turtle there. But it was really sloppy from both teams. I think these are clearly the bottom two teams. There was a lot of bright spots, though.
There were a lot of bright spots, especially that call from Retribution to go after the Fire Giant. They pushed out Excellence. They took the mid tower. They took the solo tower, and they just kept up with that. They backed off instead of, losing anything.
Yeah, I think shot calling is for sure the two options that these teams need to look at moving forward. There was a lot of just kind of confusion. Some people chasing kills, some people doing camps, some people doing waves, and there didn't seem to be one cohesive unit. Now, whether that's no one shot calling or too many people are shot calling or they're not following the shot calls, whatever that is, probably need to work on it though. Really good play, though, honestly, from Excellence. I'm looking at 50-meter fly for the most part.
Yeah.
He's not someone who has stood out to me in the past, but really showing up on this ISIS.
Doing good. Predators really showing up as well.
He was definitely the star.
Great play coming out with all the Ravana shenanigans, just being absolutely just a giant nuisance. But that was